Hi everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. We are here for Mass Make March day number 28 and we are making hole reinforcers. So, I have a couple ideas here. So what is a hole reinforcer? Well, you know those little holes, those little circles that have a hole in the middle, and you would put them over top of a hole and like a tag to just make it a little bit stronger. So I want to make a little stash of those today. I'm probably not going to do this for an entire hour because it would take a very I would be making a lot more than I would need my studio. So it's one of those a little bit different kind of days. Now I have this roll that I thrifted of these circular stickers. So what I want to do is take off a few pieces of this just in kind of manageable lengths here, so that I can color them, make them interesting, and have them prepared and ready for like when I want to use them on tags or little folders or things like that. Now these things come in handy when you're making, like when you're making a lap book and you want like a flipping folder or something, and like you want to be threading different things through that folder, and you want to have like something to just back your holes up a little. Now these are just thin stickers. They're not super durable. So the use for those, I'd say, is going to be a little more decorative than super practical in terms of being like strong. But I also had an idea to use like a cardstock. And then what you do is you just punch a regular hole with a hole punch. Like leave a little space all around, okay? So you've got a hole there, and I might have put that a little too close for this punch. I think this is my smallest circle punch, which is 1 inch. Yeah, I'm a little too close. So can I get, yeah, I can get further in. So like if you wanted to, you could make some cool hole reinforcers that were a little bigger, like this. Now if you had a smaller punch, you could probably get something a little bit smaller, but I do like these because when you glue them together, and I wonder if, let me see, if punch one, and then if it makes it easier to center your circle. I always find it easier to do, yeah, see, that's not as on kilter as the first one. Excuse me. I always find it a little easier to just make a hole on the page, and then you can center visually your circle around there. It's a little easier. I don't want to make these too close together because then they'll bump into each other. Okay, we'll see how we go here. So I'll make a few of these. Alright, so then the nice thing with this size is that they're great for like, you could glue them together and you could put them on either side of like a piece of paper. And then if you wanted to put, say, a brad through, or you just wanted to repunch your circle, like you could, and basically you'd have something that you could wind a string in behind to be a closure or something like that. You can double them up to make them even stronger. You can cut them out of things like old photo album sheets or harder cardstock or whatever to make them even more durable. So that's one idea. Now the other thing that I want to do is actually quite simple. I'm going to just pull some colors here. So the first thing is I want to use some wild honey to just ink on top of these. And it will just make them a little more interesting and nice. And they'll be ready to go, so when I make tags, I will have these, you know, and I'll be able to use them. So I think we'll do salvage patina, maybe do some black, maybe some local china. I'm going to come in now with a little bit of vintage photo. I like these colors together. They just make a nice kind of grungy patinaed sort of. There we go. So there's one. So just an easy project today, nothing too stressful. After yesterday's laminated card debacle, I'm taking it easy on us today. Although I really love how those turned out, and I'm not sorry that I stressed out my laminator. My laminator's fine though. I actually did a few more afterward because I just love them. Okay, there's a couple there. Okay, and then black. And you can obviously do this. You could do this with like different kinds of ink. You know, it would also be a really fast way to do it is like a paint roller or a brayer. You could paint on them. What else? Those kind of look like the moon. You could jelly print them. That would be kind of fun. You can probably get circle label stickers on it, like Amazon. I just had these. They were thrifted. They've been in my stash for quite some time. This big roll. Whenever I find a big roll of something like stickers or like drywall tape or whatever, I don't always pick it up, but I often pick it up. I make sure I've always got like one in my stash. Like if I were to see another one of these, I would probably pick it up just because, like, you know, this isn't the kind of thing you find all the time, and they're really handy to have for doing a project like this. A couple there that are a little bent up, so I'll just ignore inking those. Okay. One more to go. And I think I'll maybe go with something a little different, like maybe this villainous potion. I'm not used to using these little itty bitty ink daubers, but I don't have a large stumped one to go in my purple. Probably should get more daubers, but then I'm sort of like, how many of these do I need on my desk? It becomes too much. I'm looking for one of those antique carousels that holds your ink daubers. Whenever I see somebody get one of them, I'm like, I need to find one someday. But that's the joy of the thrift, like the hunt, right? Is like you get on a mission to find something, and hopefully one day you find it. I went through that with my Rolodex holder for a while because I sort of wanted a certain kind of Rolodex holder and couldn't find it. Finally found it, and now I find them all the time. It's just so funny. That's how it goes. Okay, so let's put all those inks away. So here's a couple of ideas for hole reinforcing. You know, maybe we'll make something and I'll kind of show you, just because this video is like so short. So why don't we make something? I'm gonna grab a scrap here. We'll grab a book page. So let's just make a nice calm project that uses a hole reinforcer, and yeah, that'll be good. Oh, look at that, it's even got a blank back. Yay. Okay. So I grabbed this, but I think I'm going to use this. The book page itself, it says The Real Love Story. Let's give it a little trim. Going to trim this into a tag. Go. Just gonna pull my scraps over here. Hold on. Just have to kind of shuffle my scraps around because I've had a lot of scraps in my bin that I've been using for like the kind of stuff that we've been doing here, so it's not like as well planned as usual. Here, here's some nice paper. Let's go with this as a background. Maybe this is some old wrapping paper, so maybe we'll just cover up this whole book page so that we can use the lovely wrapping paper as a background. Okay. Right, so that's done. Now, do I have anything here? Just looking for a focal point, which I may or may not have in my scraps. I don't usually keep any focal point type stuff in my scraps, so I do have this little mouse though, but he might get lost in the shuffle. So let's go with, I've got my little creatures. I could go with a little creature. I could go with a Tim Holtz person. I'm going to see if I have a little creature that might work good here. Too big. Who do we want to use? Kind of like the bunny because of the pink shirt, but he might be a little big. We will lose his little feet. Or do we want to use this bear? Or our cat? I kind of like the cat. Let's go with the kitty cat. So we'll just ink the edge. There we go. And then I'll choose a whole reinforcer color that will stand up a little bit, maybe this one. Stick that on there. Just try to make sure we center it. Hold on. A little further this way. Yeah. Okay. That's there. Then I think we need like a word snippet of some kind. So let me pull these out. Into the woods. To dig a little deeper. Sometimes just takes me a moment here. On the edge of a great forest, rays of the morning sun, a babbling brook to explore, apple core squash seeds. I like that. Okay, so now just pick all these back up and plunk them back into my words. It's very early this morning as I'm recording, so the house is very quiet. The children are both still asleep. It's a few hours before the workday begins, but the time has changed, so I'm awake. Even the dogs are asleep, which is amazing. Okay. There's a little bit of ink. So now I think we will pop our hole through the center of this little hole here. And see, now we have our hole reinforcer. I'm just going to ink this around the edges. So now we'll just find a little piece of something, maybe this. Maybe this little yellow string, this little bit of embroidery floss as well. Let's kind of carry those together. And thread them both through the hole. Bring this up, I'll give it a snip. Okay, so that is what I want to do with that. Now, I chose a kind of short little bit, so I am going to run stitches around this before I call it done. But that is your little, hey, let's do some of these hole reinforcers video because I think it's a good idea. I'm going to store these in a plastic bag with my washi tapes so that I have them close by. And I mean, you know, you could go through your scraps and just pop out a bunch of these if you wanted to, because see, like, they're really nice and easy to manage and have hanging around. I have like scraps like this that have been cut into weird shapes that, like, you know, it's kind of the perfect use for these kind of things because why not, right? Like, you could pop out a bunch of holes. And I mean, even if you just wanted to pop out the circles and then wait until you're creating the tag, you know, to do your hole reinforcer, then you can just do this and you can store all these circles and have, you know, a good amount of them for a project. So, like, yeah, again, it's just one of those things, like, it's nice to have a few things pre-made to get you a little further on your journey to making your work, you know, like every little bit helps, especially if you're on any kind of a deadline, if you're trying to get, you know, journals done for like a show that you're doing, like, you know, a vendor type event, or if you've got some gifts to make and you know, need a bunch of tags maybe around the holidays. Like, if you think about the different kinds of elements that you need to make, you know, the work you like to make, you want to make a bunch of tags like this for teachers' gifts. You know, you're giving a little gift and you want to put a cute tag on it. It's the kind of stuff that, like, it's nice to just have a few things to kind of quickly assemble, right? So that is today's little video. So I hope you had fun. I definitely did. I guess we can write down that we made, we'll say we made something, right? So I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll say I made 7, including these, like 7 varieties of hole reinforcers, just to put a little number there so that we know that we did mass make something. So okay, that's it for now. I'll see you tomorrow for the next day of Mass Make March. Have a great day. Bye.